Welcome to the Morning Blitz with John Abraham, Captain Cool, and the Bandiman Bailey Lowery. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Captain Cool.
Hello and welcome in to a thirsty Thursday here in no man's land. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman Bailey Lowery.
Hey.
And welcome in to the Morning Blitz here in no man's land, where all the crap goes down. Great stuff from the boys over on the Talking Ball show, being able to wrap that up with a bunch of great interviews going on over there, Bandy. We're definitely going to need to follow a little suit and bring some more guys on our show and have them on our stream as well. Make that just a little bit more in-depth, I would say, over on WZZN TV, over on YouTube, which, by the way, we're still over there. We're still streaming over there. And if you don't want to call into the show, which you can, 256-5764 is the number. You can use the chat box to our left, and you'll be able to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And you might not have to hold back as much compared to whenever you are on the air with us, because, of course, there are going to be rules and regulations. But we got a lot of stuff to get into today, Bandy, a lot of fun stuff. Today's going to be a little bit more, I would say, structured. We love to have a little bit of fun, go all over the place when it comes down to it here on the Morning Blitz, but every once in a while we get our stuff together a little bit more, and we'll definitely get some stories in this segment, the next segment, and we're not going to try and stray too far away from those stories. And on top of that, Jonathan Liggett from Cherokee Ridge Country Club is going to hop later on in the show to talk about a little bit of golf. But Bandy, the things we're going to start off with today, there's a little bit going down controversy-wise on the social medias with, of course, Deion Sanders, his kids, this whole Buffalo team, or the Buffalo squad over in Colorado. A lot of controversy going on with, whether or not he is supposed to be reacting the way he is to some of these guys that are like 18, 19, 20-year-old, where Deion Sanders is a 56-year-old Hall of Famer, and he's not really going about it the way, most coaches, most experts should be. But, of course, it's Deion Sanders, it's Coach Prime, and he's going to write his own rules, and he's going to do whatever he wants to do. And then on top of that, Bandy, a little bit of baseball controversy. Did you happen to catch the end of that Mets game last night? The Mets versus the Cubs ended in a very controversial fashion. 1-0 was the score. Cubs end up winning. Did you happen to catch that, Bandy?
Not live,
Yeah.
But I caught a little bit of the clip on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And I will say this much: there a lot of the controversies coming from this ruling. It looked like the catcher was a little bit in the way of the plate, and we get to see a speedster. Getting down there, trying to slide in the form of Pete Alonso, a guy that's really good when it comes to stealing, really good when it comes to making those aggressive steals. And we get to see what he was up to after a pop fly happens whenever Jeff McLean, he hits the ball up, goes to left field, and then we see Pete Alonso on third. He checks up, runs straight home, and then we get to see the ball go into play. And then it gets to home plate, the catcher gets it, he drops it down, and it's an out. And the controversy comes from whether or not he was on the plate in interfering with the runner, sliding into home, which honestly, Bandy, if you're Pete Alonso, why don't you just go feet first? I mean, there's more of a chance that you're actually going to touch the plate in the first place. But do you have it going over on the stream, because people got to see this?
Yeah,
thing.
I've got it playing over on the stream, and
look,
just to make sure that I do.
Make sure about that.
Hey, you know the way OBS works sometimes.
Trust me, I definitely know. We all have a little bit of experience with that. But you kind of look at this slide, this ruling, and of course the ump's not going to make a good case for himself whenever he says that blocking of the plate was confirmed. But I'll just play the audio for you guys whenever the ruling was actually put into play. But here's the audio for you from last night.
After review, 2 calls on the field. Blocking is confirmed. There is no blocking.
Wait, what?
What? I'm hearing 2 different things.
It's confirmed there is no blocking.
What? I heard Blocking confirmed. There was no blocking.
New York's going crazy right now. They're all excited. They think something's going to happen. Let's go back a little bit. Listen to the fan reaction, Bandy.
2 calls on the field. Blocking is confirmed. There is no blocking.
Everybody's happy.
After review, the call of out on the field stands. Runners out.
So the Cubs win the game. Almost. The ball is uphill.
My first reaction.
Instantly just, ooh.
But see, like, kind of looking at you, I mean, you're getting a really good angle on the stream here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're showing every single slow-mo kind of replay it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly kind of tough to tell. I mean, the plate's covered up by so much dirt. It's actually kind of hard to tell where the plate even begins.
Yeah, and I got to say this much, Bandy. I don't think it was to the point where he was blocking it completely to where the runner could not get into home plate and actually get that run in. But you do see Pete Alonso's hand kind of come up, and that was the big thing. That was the other thing that they were really looking at. Did he even touch home plate before getting tagged? The announcers thought he did. The players thought he did. You look at the replays. You could have said it happened at the exact same time, maybe a little bit of a tie. Blocking was confirmed, though. That's what the ump said.
Blocking confirmed.
But it also was not being called.
There is no blocking.
So there's no blocking. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We get to see, Amaya get away with it and get a guy out at home to finish off that game and win that game for the Mets. Ooh, how are those Mets fans feeling? That's what I want to know. But Bandy, we wanted to just touch on that one because I thought it was an interesting story, and also it will come back in the later segments because we will be talking a little bit about the City Connect uniforms that we have gotten so far from Nike, Fanatics, all of that, which we have more news on what they're going to be doing for the rest of their season going into 2025. They will be trying to bring back some traditional uniforms into the MLB, but we'll be waiting to see that. But Bandy, now going over to the Deion Sanders story. Okay, again, a 56-year-old man going onto Twitter, and, we've talked about our gripes with Deion Sanders. He's the type of coach that will be straight up with you, tell you, you're going to have to leave because you're definitely not going to start on this team. And the portal's a thing that exists for a reason. We're also going to be bringing in a lot of guys.
Yeah, well, also, the spring transfer portal window is closed now.
And now it is closed.
It is now closed.
But last year he came into the Colorado team. He said we're gonna bring a lot of guys in. You guys are probably gonna want to start packing your bags, getting out of here. And now we're starting to finally get a little bit of the reaction from these players that did end up leaving. And one of them, Xavier Smith from Austin P, actually told The Athletic, never even tried to get to know me. Of course, okay, he instantly, some of the first words he said to these guys was, you better start packing your bags, getting out of here. And that he was destroying guys' confidence and belief in themselves. Now, Bandy, I gotta say, this is a valid statement. He came in here, he told these guys exactly what, I just said just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And, they left. They ended up having to leave. He brought in a bunch of 4 and 5 stars, and we saw where that went with the 4 and 6 season. Everybody's able to kind of clap back on that, or whatever their season ended up being. I know it wasn't good.
4 and 8.
4 and 8. Okay, that's even worse. But now, we're finally starting to get a little bit. And you could be looking at Deion Sanders. Oh, he's a challenging coach. He likes to challenge these players. It's not. Everybody doesn't have the same mentality, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even then, is this even challenging?
Because
Is this even challenging your players?
You like to take a little bit of that, the things that Deion Sanders said. If you played for that Colorado team and now you're on some other team, and you want to kind of take that as a challenge to get better, to be better, to show that Deion Sanders made a mistake. Now, we see what Xavier Smith was able to do out in Austin P for an FCS team. He was able to get freshman honors. It was great stuff for him. But by him saying what he said to The Athletic, it actually got a response from Shadir Sanders and some of the guys over on this Colorado football team that, mind you, only won 4 games last season.
Yep, only won 4 games.
And the reason why we talk, about these guys is because of course, Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer, Shadir Sanders, the son of the Hall of Famer, the other guys that go there that are his sons and daughters. They're a part of this family that, has so much confidence, but it's just not a good look whenever you have some of the family members and also the head coach of Colorado football.
Hey, right now it's actually only the family members
going after. Well, we did get a few comments too from some other guys on the team, but we'll get to that here. But it is a little bit messed up because regardless, what are the bigger the bigger than life people do in response to seeing these comments? Like, what does Deion Sanders do, or what does Shadir Sanders? They belittle the dude even more. Shadir Sanders responded to the story with a snarky comment about Smith being mid at best and hardly even remembering who he was.
Yeah.
Look,
Cool.
great stuff. I don't think that's great stuff. I think that is, it shows you whenever these guys, okay, of course you're going to be the son of a guy that, won a bunch of stuff. He's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of reputation. You're going to have a very big ego, all right? NIL's not going to make that any better, and then everybody hyping you up to be a first-round pick in the 2025 draft.
Which I'm so shocked that people are even projecting him that high.
I know, Bandy.
People are projecting him to even get drafted.
He's a talented dude, all right? But top round pick? Like, come on, guys.
I've yet to see it.
I still need to see it.
He showed out in the SWAC. Good job.
If anybody's going to do that, it's going to be Travis Hunter just because of the way that he was able to play both sides of the ball. And, he's got a lot of talents that could be seen in the NFL for multiple teams, for many different teams. And the worst thing about it was Smith was also, he was dealing with injury whenever he was playing with Colorado.
Yeah.
And although, mid at best, he's probably not the best player. Everybody at Colorado was mid at best, Bandy.
Yeah.
Everybody, all right?
Y'all were mid.
That was just, no, Colorado was less than mid. But then in 2023, they were, of course, extremely mid.
Yeah, they were still less than mid. They didn't even get to 50%.
But this is when things got interesting, Bandy, because then it started getting a little bit more comedic, a little bit more funny. It was just that back and forth, who's better comparison, just trying to really belittle each and every one of these players. Caleb Mathis posted a video of him totally dogging Smith in practice last season, which Caleb Mathis is a wide receiver for this Colorado team. And then Smith's teammate from Austin Peay, Jaheim Ward, noticed that Mathis only had 38 receiving yards, so he was like, I'm going to call him out on this. So there's just a back and forth about these guys that aren't really doing too much. Shadir Sanders, you could say he's doing a lot.
Battle of the mid.
Yeah, it's a battle of the mid from our perspective here.
From King Mid himself and Sanders.
But then the worst thing about it, and this is what's drawing millions and millions of responses right now, because 22 million people have seen this tweet from Primetime himself saying, good Lord, or Lord Jesus, about this guy's stats. Caleb Mathis, not Caleb Mathis, Jaheim Ward, a guy that plays at an FCS level at the age of, I think he's 20 years old, maybe even younger than that. And he's calling out these dudes because he can't hold himself from stopping to talk to these haters that he doesn't need to talk to in the first place.
Yeah, like he can't help himself.
And it only started, Bandy, because a guy told his opinions about how it all went down. Told actual statements about how, yes, he told us to leave, to pack our bags and get on out of here because he was bringing in more dudes.
And then these reports that are coming out that this whole Colorado environment is akin to a reality show and really more Hollywood than anything.
Yeah.
This is just kind of backing up those claims.
Yeah, it's like Kim Kardashian's world is going on over there in Colorado. Yeah. People are still excited for it, even though they had a rained up spring football game. They were still able to bring the second most traction to the facility and watch this team play because there's still a lot of hype around them. But, how long is this going to last? And it's terrible because we were thinking, he'd be there for 2, 3, 5 seasons maybe, all right?
I give him a week.
And then he'd move on to, maybe coach for a different team in a higher conference. But at this point, it's a little bit of regression because you do want a good coach. He was able to show you that he was a good coach for, HBCU school, but now, he finally gets his break coaching for a Colorado football team that, of course, was one of the worst in college football. And you see the type of drama that's coming to this team. Nobody wants to deal with that, Bandy. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Yeah, but he brought it on himself.
But he did bring it on himself. And, of course, this is like the Kardashians right now. That's what we're getting.
Talking Ball was talking about something similar earlier. I mean, hey, we talk about Michael Jordan being one of, if not the greatest player of all time. Not that good. Not a good general manager.
No.
Not good behind the desk.
No, yeah, definitely not.
Doesn't translate. Deion Sanders, I'm thinking it's the same way. One of the greatest NFL players of all time. Literally a human highlight reel. Mm-hmm. Terrible coach.
Terrible stuff coming out of Colorado. And that's why we're talking about it today. Yeah. If this wasn't what we had to talk about, we wouldn't be talking about Colorado. And I think that's the worst thing, Bandy.
You know who they remind me of? The 76ers.
Everything bad reminds you of the 76ers, Bandy.
Everything bad. Just the ego, the pompous,
woe is me.
That like woe is me. Like either like when we're up, we're super up. Like we're trash talking. We're in your face. Like oh we're up, and then when we lose, oh no, like they're all against us.
Yeah.
Like they've had it out for us since the beginning.
Yeah,
No, we haven't. You brought it on yourself with stupid tweets like this.
They don't want to see us win, boy. I don't know.
Yeah,
Either way.
Mister, he will be a top 5 pick. Where's your son going? Low. I got time today, Coach Sanders. Why don't you get some time and work on your recruiting?
Yeah, definitely do that.
80th in the nation, only one 5-star recruit. Come on.
Yeah, people aren't as hyped when it comes to the actual football players
You're
playing
behind.
for you.
You're behind Arkansas State and Southern Miss.
Isn't that Butch Jones's place right now? Golly. Either way,
UNLV, where he just went. You're behind him too.
golly.
So why don't you stop typing on Twitter and start actually making in-house visits?
Yeah, well, he's going to leave that to his recruiting people, which is something that he should probably take into his hands if he wants to maybe see something happen. Either way,
like a real head coach does.
I hate to see it, but at the same time, I saw it coming. So did you, Bandy. But we got to hop into a break because when we come back, we're going to get into a little bit of the NASCAR, and then we're going to hop into a little bit of the MLB because you guys have been asking so much for it. Almost like, we don't have MLB talk on the Talkin' Ball show, on Tom Abraham, on The Drive, on all of those. But we will get into it for you guys here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
.97.7 ESPN The Zone is the Tennessee Valley's #1 destination for the finest in sports talk all day long. Tune in to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond each morning at 7. Then, the Morning Blitz with Captain Cool and the Bandiman. At noon, it's the Tom Abraham Show, followed by Paul Feinbaum and The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. The Zone is also your home for University of Alabama and UAH sports, plus the Atlanta Braves and the High School Sports Streaming Network. And sister station Talk Radio WZZN has Trash Pandas action with Josh Carey all season long. 97.7 ESPN The Zone and Talk Radio WZZN. Listen on the air or download the apps and take them with you everywhere. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. It is going to be a hot one across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're only dropping into the low 60s as we head into the overnight. Early into your Friday morning, we could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms develop during that time period. That activity is going to continue as we head into your Friday afternoon. Friday doesn't look like it's going to be a washout, but scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello and welcome back in to the Morning Blitz. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman, Bailey Lowery, here with you guys on a thirsty Thursday in no man's land. Bandy, have you noticed my shirt yet, bro? 'Tis but a scratch.
Tis but a scratch. Let me see go Monty Python.
Oh yeah, it is. Just I have not wore this shirt. Same that I haven't wore that Browns jersey shirt from yesterday. By the way, if you guys were wondering who it was actually Brady Quinn. Traditional, authentic T-shirt from that terrible era of the Cleveland Browns. But now I'm rocking this one because, I might stub my toe quite a bit, but Bandy, I never truly feel the pain. It's always just a little scratch, and I feel like that this is it's very much me. But, we got to hop into the phone lines before we get into our NASCAR story. Bandy, who do we got on today?
We got Jeremy on the hotline. What's going on, Jeremy?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
We're doing excellent. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm not ready for hot weather yet.
No.
Here we are.
I think we've gotten prepared for it, though, due to the air conditioning going out so many times in here. So, we're living life right now.
Yeah, so we get hot in here. It's not as hot out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let me ask y'all a question. I talked about it this morning a little bit with the guys on Talking Ball, but, man, do y'all have any idea? I mean, what are y'all's thoughts on the whole Diamond Sports Valley? What can Major League Baseball do? What can they do to fix this?
Look, working with, and I wanted to get into this story. I haven't done enough research to where I know every little detail about it. But, working with Bally already was a mistake for the Atlanta Braves. And it seems like they're the only team that had that much of a problem whenever it came to trying to find their games, even on MLB TV. You've got the subscription. You press on the game. It says, this one it's not available to watch in your region. And there's always been a problem with watching on Bally. Nobody's been a fan of it. There's been the select few that have been able to actually catch the games, consistently. But now it's gotten to the point where, it's pretty much, is it like blacked out in certain regions, Bandy?
I mean, it looks like this deal with Comcast has just, they're not on Comcast anymore. Gosh. So a lot of Braves fans who rely on Xfinity to watch Braves games, they can't anymore.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, there's not like an alternative way to watch it.
Yeah.
Even in Atlanta themselves, like people were getting area blacked out in Atlanta.
Yeah. It's just absolutely ridiculous for a Major League Baseball team. And it's almost as hard as finding the AFL games whenever it comes to trying to watch their games.
Well, Brandon had called and talked to him this morning, and he thinks that it's going to be resolved. Mm-hmm. It's not, because Dish Network dropped them. Dish Network dropped them 5 years ago, and never brought them back. So it's been 5 miserable years. YouTube TV dropped them. They dropped them 4 years ago. So when we moved into our new house, we decided we were going to go with YouTube TV.
Yeah,
and so when I did, I was like, wait a minute, I can't watch the Braves. That's not on here. I was like, oh, my gosh, because I will never go to DirecTV ever again.
Yeah.
That's the worst. They are the worst because it's like, it's $99 a month for our streaming, but then in like 6 months, all of a sudden you get a bill and it's like $200 and something, and you're like, what?
No. And this
like, what's going on here?
It's another reason why.
DirecTV's it.
Yeah.
DirecTV and Fubo TV are the only two that you can watch the Braves on right now.
For sure.
Which is wild to me.
It's so disappointing. I agree with, everybody who's got the they're just upset about it all, okay? And I can be upset about it as well. I'm not always going and trying to find the Braves game, but whenever we had the MLB TV up in here and they were playing during our show, during the afternoon blitz, just not being able, even though they were on the screen, it was saying, hey, this is the game that's going on, and click here to watch. You click it, it says you're not able to watch it because of some regional stuff, and you don't have this Valley Sports subscription. It's just been a whole crap fest over there.
And then you had the fact that the blackout thing with Major League Baseball is ridiculous.
Yes.
It's stupid. Nobody blacks out their games anymore in any other league.
No.
Major League Baseball is the only league that blacks out games anymore.
No.
And even Braves play on TBS now. Mm-hmm. If they have a Tuesday night TBS game, it's blacked out.
It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
Make sense. Sunday night baseball on ESPN is the only time that the Braves get national television.
Yeah.
And it can be watched in this area because it's a nationally televised game. Now, when they're on a Wednesday or a Monday night on ESPN, it's blacked out.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm looking at
and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there's nothing anything that this commissioner in Major League Baseball has done. Him announcing that he's retiring at a certain, well, he gave his end time. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm retiring in this date right here. And I'm like, retire now, dude, because you have hurt the ball game. You have hurt the game.
Man, just why wait? He just wants to get out of there.
Yeah, why wait? Just go ahead and leave because he has done nothing. I'm like, what has he done? Mm-hmm. I mean, really, what's his when at the end of his tenure, what are we going to look back and say about Manfred?
They made the game faster.
What are we going to?
That's what you could say.
That's about it. He made it faster.
He made the game faster.
But I mean, I looked it up. It's on
He's
Wiki.
going to take credit. He's going to take credit for that.
Yeah.
He's going to take credit for the pitch clock, and he's going to take credit for bigger bases, and he's going to take credit for this stuff. And he'll have the automatic strike zone in there before he's out. That it's going to happen.
No.
But he's going to try to take credit for this stuff. No. And here's the thing: he has done nothing to keep the umpires that we have consistent. He's done nothing. Angel Hernandez should have been gone from Major League Baseball 6 years ago.
Okay.
That's how terrible he is.
Idea, though.
And nothing's been done about it.
He
has done nothing. Do what?
I was saying, here's an idea though. With I heard this on another podcast. I'm trying to remember what podcast it was, but they had a great idea for these terrible umpires that have been in the MLB so far. Just relegate like the worst ones to the minor leagues.
Yeah.
Just put them down there, let them train back up, or if they don't train back up, they don't get better. Just keep them down there and maybe bring them back later on. But either way, do something with them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They've got to do something because, like. It's terrible. I mean, strike zones. I watched Atlanta. I watched Max Fried in the first inning of a game have 2 outs, 2 strikes left on the last batter, throw one right in the strike zone, and them call it a ball. And then after that, what happened? 3 runs on him in the first inning.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're like, oh my gosh, you're affecting the ball game in a negative way.
Yeah, that's that human error.
It's like, well, and then you got to look at his other things that he's done. Why did he pull the All-Star game from Atlanta a few years ago? Why did he? Why has he not got a control of these television rights and done anything with it? I mean, so even MLB Network, their own network, is gone from most like streaming and television. Like DirecTV still got it, Dish still has it, but that's it.
Yeah.
Everybody else has dropped it.
Yeah.
You can't even control your own network, and your own network's tired of it.
Yeah.
They come out on the network on their shows complaining about him all the time, and you're like, why is it this way? Like Goodell gets dropped about, but I mean, hey, he's bringing money into the dang league.
Yeah. At least we can watch the games.
Yeah, we can watch every single one of the games, even though it costs a lot of money. I mean, it's the same for anybody else, but you get the whole package. You know what you're getting for the money that you were spending. But good stuff, Jeremy. Great conversation. You're able to throw out all of what you got, man.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one, man, and go Braves.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, man. You too, brother. Hey. I got the conspiracy out there. I think Rob Manfred just doesn't like the Braves.
This is the thing, though, Bandy. This is the thing. You might not be able to watch the game easily, but you can listen to the game very, very easily on our station at 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Anytime a Braves are playing, you're going to be able to listen to it, whether on our station or on our app. Good stuff from us. Good stuff from the Braves being able to be good when flexible with their radio broadcast. But, Bandy, we got to hop into a break. When we come back, getting into a little bit of the NASCAR and a little bit of these new City Connect uniforms that, again, are very questionable to say the least. That's what's coming up here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
97.7 ESPN The Zone is the Tennessee Valley's #1 destination for the finest in sports talk all day long. Tune in to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeAron each morning at 7. Then, the Morning Blitz with Captain Cool and the Bandiman. At noon, it's the Tom Abraham Show, followed by Paul Feinbaum and The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. The Zone is also your home for University of Alabama and UAH sports, plus the Atlanta Braves and the High School Sports Streaming Network. And sister station Talk Radio WZZN has Trash Pandas action with Josh Carey all season long. 97.7 ESPN The Zone and Talk Radio WZZN. Listen on the air or download the apps and take them with you everywhere.
Up 3-2. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, we love baseball almost as much as we love serving up the best and baddest burgers around. People have called our burgers totally insane. And at Bad Daddy's, we take that as a compliment. But it's not just burgers. Up first, starters like our fried pickles, wings, or poblano frites. Second, try one of Bad Daddy's giant chopped salads. Third, our famous chef-inspired burgers with lots of different taste options. And before you head home, finish up with one of our shakes or delicious banana pudding. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and Clift Farm in Madison.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached
coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Everything you need is just a click away.
I screw up sometimes, silly.
Okay, almost everything.
Come on, I'll tell your fortune.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. 977 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz, presented by the wonderful guys over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online and fill out your free quote today. You can find them at FlemingHSV.com. And remember that Fleming always shows up. If you guys want to be a part of the show and you have a business you want to promote, to definitely contact us during the show, or, you know, you can hit us up on X or find our emails. We all got that information over on our website at 977ESPN.com. Wouldn't it be amazing, Bandy? We can get some like concrete companies, you know, like who's the concrete defensive player, performer of the week, you know, presented by your company, and, you know, come on, go from there. Yeah. We're very creative fellows, all right? There's a lot that we can do with you guys, and we definitely love to have you a part of the show. A lot of things happening here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone outside of just the Morning Blitz. Got a lot of events coming up, like the charity golf tournament presented by Eagle Installation to benefit the Alabama Make-A-Wish Foundation. A lot of cool stuff, including our award ceremony it's right around the corner, Bandy. I mean, it is in, June, but it's like going to fly by these next few months, and it's already going to be past SEC Media Days, all of that stuff coming up. A lot to look forward to here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and over on our sister station at Talk Radio WZZN, where they're playing all of the Trash Pandas games, and we got that for you, including all of the news that you need to know around the country. I mean, we got it all here on the WZZN family, including WZZN TV with me and the Bandiman, of course, on that. Bandy, I got to talk a little bit of NASCAR because I'm itching to talk some speed. The problem is, with all these short tracks and not enough of the draft tracks, we're not seeing enough speed from these Ford cars.
Oh.
And this is what's upsetting to me, Bandy, okay? There's a lot of stipulation about Mustangs and how, they're crowd killers, literally. And on top of that, I mean, they're not good enough cars, especially the new version that they threw in there with the Dark Horse version, that is only good on the bigger tracks, on the drafting tracks like Daytona, Talladega, and we keep thinking that, maybe there's a chance whenever they get over 1.5 mile long tracks, and it just does not happen. And this is yet another instance. We're 11 races into the Cup Series, no first place finishes for Ford. We're 29 races in to the NASCAR season, whether it's the Truck Series, whether it's the Xfinity Series, no pole position finish for Mustangs. We've come close. We've had Keselowski almost get the win, and then, of course, Tyler Reddick comes and just finishes it off, gets number 1. We've had Ryan Blaney almost get a win, but, it's stolen by Daniel Suarez, who's in a Camaro. We've got a lot of wins from Camaros, a lot of wins from Toyotas, and zero wins from the Mustangs. And also just anything that's Ford, the F-150s over the Truck Series. And nobody knows what the problem is. Whether it's just, they can't get the speed whenever it's on the short tracks. They can't get up to the speed the same way that the Toyotas can. They can't make the turns like the Toyotas can. I mean, aren't these cars all the same?
Actually, that kind of brings up a good question I wanted to ask you because, again, I'm not familiar with NASCAR or really that much in racing. Mm-hmm. But I know when it comes to, like, F1, I mean, everyone's talking about Max Verstappen always winning. And a lot
Lewis Hamilton as well.
And the Red Bull cars.
Yep.
But is the car that much of the primary factor when it comes to winning the race? Like, you have to have the most souped up car like, because I feel like we talk about, when we're talking about these races, we're not really talking about, like, the drivers behind the wheels. Like, maybe they could be performing better, or, like, they could be doing better in the race. But it's primarily focused on the cars themselves.
Well, it definitely is focused on a lot of the drivers, as well as the cars, as well as the companies that they are driving for. You look at Joe Gibbs Racing, Hendrick Racing. These two teams right now have been thriving this season. Of course, you get Hendrick's Racing has got, like, I don't know, they've got 3 of their 4 drivers have won races, some multiple times, and you see they're all driving these Camaros, and it's cool to see. You know, we got Kyle Larson. He's a very talented driver. Then you look over at Joe Gibbs Racing. You got a guy like Denny Hamlin. You got guys like Christopher Bell. All of these guys, very talented drivers. And then you still have other Toyotas and other racers that are complaining that they're not getting any wins because you look at the teams that get the most money in. These are supposed to be stock cars. They're definitely not stock cars anymore. Not in 2024 for sure. After they got to these next gen cars, just nothing has become stock of this series. But you still see that there is more money going into some of these other companies. And if you keep winning, you're going to get more money to keep winning, to keep earning. So the rich continue to get rich. And the other racers just continue to get, P5 at best. And this is the thing that we're seeing right now in NASCAR where, you get Bubba Wallace even complaining that if you're not a part of those 2 top teams, then you're not going to find that much victory. And so far, it has been a very interesting, somewhat boring season at times, just seeing Denny Hamlin winning 3 times. You get Kyle Larson leading most of these races, and it just kind of shows you again that these cars are to the point where, they're not going to crash as easy. And if they're not going to crash as easy, the schemes aren't going to be the way that they used to be where, I might hold my car out of the pits a little bit longer, wait for a wreck to happen, and then I'll get, the jump on them by, taking my car into the pits, getting out before everybody else, and then going around. If you're riding, though, and everybody's pit, and you're still staying out there like Corey LaJoie did just last week in Dover, he's going out there on these tires that are getting up to almost 90 laps while everybody else is driving on these fresh tires. But the difference is here, Corey LaJoie is almost a lap ahead of everybody. But Kyle Larson's the one that's picking up the pace, getting closer, and it doesn't matter. If there's not going to be a wreck, nobody's going to slip because everybody else has their fresh tires, all of that stuff. But the guy that might wreck is the guy that's also in first, and he's hoping that somebody's going to wreck in the back of the pack. That's not going to happen. No. Because they all have the fresh tires. They all got the pit stops. And it's just not the same NASCAR that a lot of people grew up and fell in love with. I still love it. It's still very fun to watch. But the drama, it's kind of disappeared from the sport. And although the crowds are still there, Dover was packed. It's just, I feel like there's got to be a little bit of regression with these cars to get them back to what they were when they were faster. And they were more susceptible to maybe getting in accidents if you're just not a good enough driver. Because now, you got guys that, are unknown to many people. And they're going around the track and they're still able to finish out these races. Noah Gragson, look at what he's doing. The 10 car for Stewart-Haas Racing, he's having a spectacular season. And last year, I didn't even know who this guy was. I'm going to be honest with you. But then you got guys in different teams. Even Jimmy Johnson's been racing a little bit in the 84 car. And it's a talented driver, but just not with a, I would say, known team to the point where he's got the money to have those cars that are better than a majority of the pack. So that's why we get to see him finish, P38 or something like that. It's just kind of how it is. Either way, Bandy, we got to hop into a break. When we come back, we're going to talk with one Mr. Jonathan Liggett from Cherokee Ridge Country Club as we are steaming here on this episode of the Morning Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
.97.7 ESPN The Zone is the Tennessee Valley's #1 destination for the finest in sports talk all day long. Tune in to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeAron each morning at 7. Then, the Morning Blitz with Captain Cool and the Bandiman. At noon, it's the Tom Abraham Show. followed by Paul Feinbaum and The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. The Zone is also your home for University of Alabama and UAH sports, plus the Atlanta Braves and the High School Sports Streaming Network. And sister station Talk Radio WZZN has Trash Pandas action with Josh Carey all season long. 97.7 ESPN The Zone and Talk Radio WZZN. Listen on the air or download the apps and take them with you everywhere.
Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. It is going to be a hot one across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperature climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're only dropping into the low 60s as we head into the overnight. Early into your Friday morning, we could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms develop during that time period. That activity is going to continue as we head into your Friday afternoon. Friday doesn't look like it's going to be a washout, but scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's perfect!
Not me over here trying to stop Bandy from getting Mafia City on his iPhone. It doesn't even exist, dude. It doesn't even exist.
Apparently it does. I mean, they had a Yakuza collab, man. I love it. I love that series. But hey, we got to talk some golf.
We got to talk some golf, and more specifically, John's got to talk some golf as we look forward to what's going down over at the TPC at Craig Ranch. John, how are you doing today, man?
Good morning, my guys. Good morning. How are we?
Extremely warm, but doing great. We're doing great. I never got to cool it down today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a little hot on today here in North Alabama. But anywho, guys, let's get to talking some golf, huh?
Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Here, we got the CJ Cup Brian Nelson being played, like you said, at the Craig Ranch in McKinney, Texas. And today it's a little soggy out there. It's raining. You'll notice on during the weekend we're going to have some more thunderstorms down there. They actually have a flood warning today. So you're going to see, I'm going to assume probably a little bit lower scores, even though this course is 7,400 yards. It's a good little tie long course. Probably going to see some lower scores because it's wet, because it's going to be raining. They're probably going to be playing it up and cleaning their balls. But anyway, guys, before we get into any of the who I picked to win and details about the course, I have a little bit of sad news to tell you, okay?
Oh, no.
This is a big news.
What do we got?
Our one and only, if you haven't heard it, they call him Usti. Well, they did before he passed away this morning. Our one and only Peter Oosterhuis. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Famously for announcing the 17th at Augusta for almost the past over 15 years now.
Wow.
He died this morning, passed away from Alzheimer's disease. It's very sad to see. He was a great player, played in over 300 events, won, I think, almost 20 times or more than 20 times. But this morning, if you don't know him, they called him Usti. Great announcer. He did a great job. Condolences to his family and friends. But anyway, he died this morning. It's very sad news. I had to throw that out there because that's big. He was a big guy in the game. Did a lot of stuff in the 70s and 80s, and it just goes to show that time on earth should be cherished, and always tell your loved ones you love them. So, Peter, rest in peace, my brother. Hope all's well with his friends and family. But anywho, on from the sad stuff, guys. We got one and only Mr. Chris Kim, and if you don't know Chris Kim, guys, he is an amateur. He's 16. He's making his appearance here at the CG Cup. Brian Nelson, his first event in the PGA Tour. It says he received a sponsor. The first, I think he's the first European amateur to sign an NIL contract with Under Armour, the first British amateur to sign an NIL deal with TaylorMade.
Nice.
He's the first amateur golfer to be sponsored by the CJ Group, with which they sponsor some other European professional golfers to play in this. But he's 16 years old, guys. He's there playing in the CJ Cup, Brian Nelson, and I'm not going to say he's going to win this week, but I definitely think he's going to be a big name. I think he's going to make the cut.
Yeah, it's something to at least look at. It's definitely an intriguing player right there.
No, absolutely. He went undefeated in the Junior Ryder Cup at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club, and that is, we know Marco Simone. We talked about that earlier on. It is a tough course. He claimed 3.5 points of the Europe, won the event for the first time since 2006.
Wow.
So let's just say this guy he's definitely got some heat on him. He definitely has some game. And with it being wet this week and probably playing it up, I'm not going to lie, I think Chris Kim is going to play well. I haven't seen his game personally. I didn't even know this guy was on the radar coming up until this tournament. So definitely be on the lookout this week for him, because it's always nice to watch definitely someone who's 16 to be one of the first ever to be sponsored by a group on a PGA tournament. So this guy has some game. So be on the lookout for Chris Kim out of the UK.
Well, John, talk about who you actually think is going to bring home the trophy at the end of this whole event.
Absolutely. So the one guy I'm choosing, because Scotty, he's still waiting on his first child to be born, so he's not playing. We got the one only Mr. Siwoo Kim. He got tied second last year, and his last 6 tournaments of this season so far, all top 30s, including 2 top 20s and a top 10. So Siwoo Kim, I believe, is going to be coming hot into this one. He hits the ball well. Great game on his head. So I'm picking Mr. Siwoo Kim to take home the dub this week. I was going to say Jordan Spieth, but he's having some wrist troubles. So I do believe he's going to be having some errant shots, getting in his head a lot. So I'm not putting Jordan Spieth up there. So Siwoo Kim, I'm going to see if he can take home the dub this week.
There's a lot of Kims. There's a lot of Kims going down. I mean, we got Tom Kim. I mean, you go down the list a little bit. We talk about the Chris Kim you were just talking about, and now Siwoo Kim. I mean, geez, it's like a whole family thing.
But there's so many guys from the European countries that are just absolutely dominating some tournaments at this point. Obviously, Scotty's American, but you see a lot of European guys these days who are coming over because I want to say it's because of the Saudi Arabia tour going on. It's bringing a lot of the unknown guys, giving them a chance to come over and really give their shot to come in. If you don't know Carl Phillips, he's actually, I think, in the top 25 in the college. I kept up with him as a little kid growing up. He was kind of an inspiration to me. Played at Lord have mercy. Where did Tiger play? Stanford. Lord have mercy. He played at Stanford. Great player. Now could be making his way to the PGA Tour. So Carl Phillips, definitely keep that one in mind. Karl Phillips with a V. He's a great player coming up with that too. So.
All right. Well, are those the only 2 players you're looking at this week? I mean, that you really think are going to win, or you got anybody else? Or Bandy, did you have a question? I know you were thinking about.
Well, hey, I actually want to talk about a different tournament coming up here also in May, though. The Make-A-Wish WZZN Charity Golf Classic over at Cherokee Ridge. Now,
the Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, kind of give a preview of what the course is kind of be looking like over at Cherokee Ridge come May 13th.
Okay, for sure. So as of right now, I'm not going to lie, the greens are looking spectacular.
Wow.
They have been vercutted, and they have been healed back up, and we all know it's been raining a lot, okay? And that's much needed. So the greens out there are actually really plush right now. They might be a little on the hard side, but they are getting softer. Maintenance is working on that. But greens are perfect. Fairways are greening up spectacularly.
Nice.
They were with some rough spots around the course, of course, it being wet, having to do some drying out. But the course is becoming great, my man. It's looking beautiful out there. It's greening up nicely. We're getting more and more play out there. As the weather's getting better, almost every day we're getting full tee sheets. So I think we're going to have a great turnout, and the course is going to be beautiful for you guys out there. So I'm really excited to have you guys out there.
Heck yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it, John. Again, you can go and check him out and get a little bit of practice on your golf game over at Cherokee Ridge Country Club. Just ask for the Liggett. But we appreciate you, brother. Can't wait to talk with you next week. We will definitely talk a little bit more about our charity tournament that's coming up. But good stuff, man.
Absolutely, boys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be good over at 97.10 ESP in the zone.
We will. Good stuff, Jonathan Liggett. Yeah, looking forward to it, Bandy. The 13th of this month. You guys can still get in. We got a few teams available. Just hit us up here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone for information on that. Looking forward to it, Bandy. Also looking forward to 23 hours from now when we get back here on a fun Friday in No Man's Land. See ya.
If you enjoy 97.7 ESPN The Zone for all the best in sports talk, you'll love Talk Radio WZZN on 97.7 HD2. Don't have an